Hello, my name is Ben Keat and I am making a video to talk about the transparency of the community that we are living in and how we should all get along when we all know the same agenda is between us all and we must all invariably try to achieve the same goals collectively. It is not necessarily a network, system or solution that should be put in place. It's something that I'm building on to make endeavours change before our very eyes to something that is more attractive to the people who have to work at the lowest levels, and something that is more of a passion for the people who have obtained a higher office and a reason to be in charge of the people foresaid. So what the process I'm putting in place, or I believe we collectively are putting in place or should put in place, is a process to develop entrepreneurship from people who are not so fortunate as ourselves, rather than signaling or picking out future entrepreneurs from elite classes. This does not mean that entrepreneurs cannot come from elite classes without uh, a certain method of pushing oneself forward before obtaining self-sacrifice. So what I mean is, in fact, what is necessary for people in elite classes who wish to achieve entrepreneurship, they must put themselves last if they're already at the top of things in the natural scheme and order of the way things are. Financially, they will be better off to begin with, but it doesn't mean that they should continue to be mean when finances start to run out in their endeavours. In fact, I believe it is these people, even if in financial difficulty, having come from a relatively comfortable situation before, ought to start contributing by building the economy up and getting others to follow who have put themselves around them and surrounded them due to the fact that they feel they're in the same boat, the same level, where anyone can be an entrepreneur because of the supposed elite's self-sacrifice. When this is achieved, we have a group of leaders who shouldn't assume automatically that they're going to get back to the top. However, if they do achieve the process of getting back to the top, then they will have rightly earned their position as an elite. And to achieve that process, there is a rigorous checked system to make sure they are not parasitical, I suppose is a word, a nastier word. Perhaps a better word to use would be less ambitious for their own gain and more involved in the connections and connecting other people up to a future that is better for themselves, and also improving the area around them by exuding privilege from the process as they build themselves up. So the next level that most people will achieve after self-sacrifice is a process where the options become smaller and fewer to develop oneself in order to gain one's heroic status once again. It certainly means that truth should be no obstacle, and in the process of self-sacrifice, you will have been woken up to telling the truth and making sure that in your mind and in your voice you speak the absolute truth. So what I'm saying is, if you are asked to do a confessional in your self-sacrificial process, then you should not shun this. And also, you should not put yourself to a level where you are more secure than others around you. You should continue to risk your position, your safety, for the fact that other people will get up and grow bigger because of your commitment to bring them up to the top in the end at your level. Now, this is a long process. I'm not saying it's for the short haul. For the universal mind, which is the existing elite, will have a big problem in actually extracting themselves to the self-sacrificial point. It means a lot of tunneling backwards into the mind once the plan has been set around you. It does not mean doing it before the plan has been set around you, primarily because if there is no plan and you extract yourself to self-sacrifice, you will still have the same mind that you started with at the beginning. It is a process of blank slating yourself and developing yourself to be prepared to put yourself last to begin with. This does not mean you'll always put yourself last, but it means your manner and the way you treat people and the way you get on with people later on will be engineered to be a service to others or of service to others. So this process is a developmental phase, and the way to self-sacrifice is not hard keyed in as the same way for everyone, but generally the prototype is the same for all, and those who understand the prototype should understand how the process worked for the one who achieved the goal of returning and getting to the level that was resulting in the achievement of his continued work towards the common good. And the level process is strict. You do not necessarily need to know it as you climb the ladder and get back in to the level you've been before. And if you're lucky to move to a more escalated level and higher level than you were before. However, if you do not understand that at the second level of the process, you are going to be used by corporations, by media channels, by industries, by the public sector, then you are not aware of the fact that your return is, to begin with anyway, a process of sharing information through a network of visionaries who are put there in place to make people believe in what you are doing ultimately, and even to begin with, to show interest in what you are achieving. In subsequent levels of the process, as you develop what you are creating in your mind and around you, and is gradually becoming part of your aura or your development process, that is your communications aura, your liquid property aura. As liquid property, I use your spiritual know-how, your spiritual beliefs, your spiritual creation, your influences, what you have learned from teaching others, because you learn by teaching others. So when you teach others, you will learn things in return, and your mind from blank slate will begin to fill up in the second phase. So as you move to the third phase, the desire for this interest, for one reason or the other, I won't go into the specifics of what reasons they should be. They can be anything, as long as it is for someone else, not or other people, not purely for yourself, which I believe leads to poor intentions, or is poor intentions that leads to the total destruction of everything that you have endeavored to set up along the process of the second phase. So as you get to the third level and you reach your base rate once again, this time, for the betterment of someone else, or for the love of someone else, or for the improvement of society in general, you will find that the interest that people show in you is a negative factor. And as things progress higher, you will find that the interest around you tries to gain more momentum and more insightfulness in what you're doing, partially because of the belief and partially because they're trying to believe things away from you because you are excelling too quickly or doing too well. This is something you must overcome. You know, you have to develop a good sense of humor at this level. You have to understand that people's better wishes from before are now a negative factor. And people who are there to teach you something are teaching you a more modest way of developing yourself and helping others develop. But even at this phase, you still will not have lost the group around you who you yourself have self-sacrificed for. They will be around you still, some positively, some negatively, but it is for you to choose and understand those that are helping you. And as your network starts to flourish, and as your programs in your mind or in your endeavors to privatize yourself, because naturally your desire to lose the public interest and the public on public surveillance that is no longer required to make yourself a privatized commodity, you'll start to find, as this happens, that you will wish to share with other people the proceeds or the spin-offs or the privilege, as I call it, of your process. This does not mean people or you should offer yourself up to be cut open and dissected, because naturally in the privatization phase, it'll be very difficult to pull this back when this occurs. So privilege to me is like a connection to other people first. And when you have found the right people, then you are able to generously bequeath what is within you and what your corporation or your body is becoming and share it with other people. The subsequent 4, 5, and 6 levels are potentially the making or breaking of most people. Most people who have been through the process should get to step 3, third stage. But to get to step 4, it takes a bit more accuracy and a bit more daring in what you are doing to make yourself connected to the wider world and also connected to a group of people who are training you to make sure that you become one of them eventually, or at least in a capacity that is similar, or working in a capacity that is similar to what the group that is training you or wishes to pull you through, or your people or the people you are leading who you continually refer back to. It doesn't have to be any particular public service. It doesn't have to be any particular corporation. But if it's a corporation at this level that you're working for, you are being pulled through for your final level at the step 4 process. And you probably will go no higher than that. If it is a public sector process that is calling you, be it hospital, armed forces, police, um, a charitable movement, a governmental movement, or a process to do with initiatives around you, a facilitation process perhaps, or something that is keyed up to offering a non-governmental service as well. This is all aimed at you giving a corporate clout to your sphere of influence within this network when you attain the level 6 level. And they will be rooting for you to get back through the natural heroic level 5 stage in order to develop as the senior who has the command of the sphere of influence within which the public sector practice or the public sector initiative that has pulled you through will be privileged and offer service in your name and in the work that you are doing to the people around you who you wish to reach out to and give um, the quality of life that they so deserve and you so wish them to have. So at this stage, step 4, you'll not be so finely tuned at developing people, um, you know, to have the network around them, to have the setup that makes them who they are in your connections. But as you develop higher, you'll start to fine tune it more, especially in the heroic phase when you get a much more in tune method of the people you get on with and also how to win people over because the whole process of the heroic stage, it's not necessarily about achieving great feats or doing the most amazing things on the planet. However, some of the things may be taxing or confusing or complicated and bring you about to the naturality of your existing experience before you endeavored on the self-sacrifice process. So the hero is definitely someone, again, a make or break situation, but someone who can develop well with bravery, courage, the courage of their convictions, and an attitude of non-stop work on the endeavor, the idea that will have seeded itself at your self-sacrificial point that you wish to make your own corporation, your own charity, your own club, your own private sector business, your own public sector organization or keyhole that you are setting up to make into a new network of facilitation for various people. So you may start up a new public sector area or sphere of influence that is not already in the existing structure of the surrounding area or the country where you live. So when you achieve the hero level and you get to the hero level, the whole process is about taking you away from your organizational direction, the one where you want to achieve your practice, get to the top, and make everything happen. It's not so easy at the hero level. The people you're working for will be informed about your process and what you are developing as. As a step 5, you'll certainly be making a lot of things happen for other people, uh, but wholly unrelated to what you are intending to do. You'll be making friends, you'll be influencing people, you'll be going out, and you'll be spending money. And it is at this stage that although you were possibly privileged at the beginning, you will find that your money is not readily available at this stage because you are going to escalate to a much higher level. And it is important to spend money anyway because we are encouraging people to grow and the economy to grow around us, even if it's going to make things hard in your process. And even if your heroic status still costs you money rather than you being paid money for being a hero, like the vast majority of the natural and also some of the revisited heroes who didn't go any higher levels will already be in. So the process of reaching the step 6 level is about branching out and generosity to make sure that you achieve the attitude and the nature of the people who are good at working on academy run projects, where the whole academy program of the grassroots endeavors is run by seniors who not necessarily patronize would be the wrong word, but more so give energy to the network of contributors and heroes and step fours and step threes who are in the academy process, selecting people who they believe should win the practice that is being set up already in existence to turn it into the legal direction or the organizational direction that it should go in. And ultimately, as you start to take over your own practice when it has been deemed to be yours, all the interesting processes, all the interest around you that has come from the area where you first fathomed yourself and the network of people who have gone, you push them up, you push them into good jobs at the self-sacrificial stage, you've made some people rich, they will all be showing an interest in you. And it is at this stage that you'll start to reach the level where you have to stop this interest. And that is almost about cutting the red tape. And at this stage, welcome seniority. Because when you are free from public on public surveillance and networks who are invigorating themselves by helping you, is the best way to explain it. They are looking at what you're doing and offering intuitive help. However, this is still a process of self-enrichment to these people. And we understand that at that level, we've understood it for some time. But actually getting through and cutting the red tape means you have fully transitioned from natural hero to self-sacrifice and returned to your own business that you have dwelt in the area you have positioned and made your home and your location and everything in it that concerns your business and references your business and helps you with your business to set it up for one reason or other, whatever reason people do that. You develop into the entrepreneur who has the original thought of the practice that is now yours.